Hey everyone, part 6 got its 50 likes, and so I have kept my word and am delivering Demon Slayer Explained Badly Part 7. Now, if you want part 8, we need 100 likes. Yes, I'm going even bigger this time. I'm Wheeze, by the way, and without further ramblings, we are going to get right into part 7. Check out all the previous parts on my channel if you haven't seen them yet. I have a playlist with all of them. On to the video. Tangerine charges at the Boar Man and breaks his ribs with his first punch. Boar Guy, being an honorable and rational type, accepts his duel and fights back barehanded, but Tangerine didn't realize his disadvantage fighting against a half-boar. He struggles with defeating him and is at his lowest point when Boar Guy shows off his flexibility to assert his dominance over Tangerine. But as all shonen protagonists, Tangerine has a secret, extremely overpowered weapon. He uses Ultra Hard Head on Boar Guy. Boar Guy daggers back and his boar mask falls off his head. This is when it's revealed that Boar Guy is actually a woman. She hid her identity behind the name Boar Guy, which is an excellent cover. They converse for a little while, Boar Guy accepting her defeat graciously and honorably, and complimenting Tangerine as an excellent fighter. But before she can give her final thoughts on their honorable duel, she feels the effects of Tangerine's ultimate attack and collapses. After some time, Boar Guy wakes up and the aggressive but honorable fellow is gone, as Tangerine caused major trauma and psychological damage to her brain, causing her to freak out and bang her head against trees. Not understanding the basic concept of having consequences for his actions, Tangerine shrugs her off as an odd person. Despite many women being in even high-ranking positions in the Demon Slayer Corps, Boar Guy still decides to hide her identity and puts back on the mask. After the confusion dies down, they all go back down the path after covering up the evidence of Tangerine's homicide. As the children part with Tangerine and Orange Boy, the crow gives the oldest child some drugs, which Tangerine encourages him to keep. Then the Demon Slayers continue on their way. Tangerine carrying Orange Boy because he is exhausted from protecting the box, and Boar Guy following them because she was disoriented and confused, and had nowhere else to go. As they walk and talk, Boar Guy confuses Tangerine's name, calling him things like Tanjiro Kamado instead of Tangerine Bamado. It's hilarious. Calling people by mistaken names is the funniest kind of comedy. The crow leads them to an estate taken care of by an old lady. They eat and rest. We get some fan service of the new female character. Then the doctor comes and gives them his diagnosis, each with a different number of broken ribs, completely missing the damage done to Boar Guy's head, therefore she doesn't get treatment. Eventually, Orange Boy, who used his expert deductive reasoning to figure it out, asks Tangerine why he is traveling with a demon in the box. He explains it's his sister, and they all accept it right away, no problems whatsoever. Episode 15. They rest and recover. The doctor says they are all recovered, which may be mostly true, but Tangerine's drug abuse and Boar Guy's internal head trauma may have side effects that will never go away. They get another message from Tangerine's crow, which tells them to go to Mount Natagumo for their next assignment. The three barely escape the clutches of the terrifying caretaker who is chasing them because they didn't pay any of their bills, and they ran to the nearby mountain. They arrive on a path that leads into a forest. Before they enter, they find a boy from the Demon Slayer Corps, face first on the ground. They check on him and he screams for help, but before they are able to do anything, he is thrown into the air and sucked into the woods all Eldritch Horror style. As they stare into the darkness where some terrible creature beyond perception probably lives, Orange Boy is shaken by the possibilities awaiting them and suggests caution. Tangerine gets the smell of a certain kind of plant growing nearby and has a hard time controlling his urges, while Boar Guy shows that she is a strong, independent female and charges into the woods to honorably slay the beast. Although, more likely she hasn't recovered the damage done to her brain, and she is not thinking clearly. To escape the urges, Tangerine follows. They enter the spooky woods and find a bunch of foreshadowing spiderwebs. Tangerine talks to Boar Guy a little, and she is swooned by his chadliness, but they are quickly interrupted as they see a weakling still alive in the forest. If you don't know, a weakling, or casualty, in the Demon Slayer universe, is a demon slayer with no defined physical characteristic, therefore weak and easily expendable. The weakling explains the horrific scene of other weaklings getting controlled by some outside force and turning on each other, all of them killing each other except for himself because he ran. Meanwhile, we see Demon Slayer HQ, where the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps hears the news of the fallen Demon Slayers and calls them his children, giving us the new reveal that this whole story is just a family drama between Kabuchi's children and this mysterious leader's children. So anyways, he sends Goo and Butterfly Lady to defeat the rival family. Meanwhile, Zenitsu carefully considers the best course of action and decides the best way to help his friends is to follow them into the forest at a distance, so he can surprise the enemy with sudden backup, either sneaking behind them while Tangerine and Borgai fight, or charge in to fend off the attacks if they need to regroup after being outnumbered. Back to our main group, Tangerine proves he has more senses than just his smell as he hears a sound. Then, a group of weaklings come into view and start to attack them. Tangerine realizes they are being controlled with puppet strings attached to their back. After slashing the strings, the human body puppets fall to the ground. Although he cut the strings, small spiders reattach them, so Tangerine asks Borgai to find the puppeteer because whatever plant was causing him to be woozy outside the woods was even stronger in it. So he is basically blind because he relies almost entirely on his sense of smell. Spider Demon Boy shows up and asks them politely to leave, because this is his family's home, and he warns them that his mother will kill them if they don't. So Borgai tries to cut down the kid, but she couldn't quite reach him because he was standing on a tightrope between two trees. With the warning not working, Spider Boy walks away. Then Borgai uses sonar built into her mask to find the puppeteer and is successful. Spider Demon Boy laments that they couldn't solve their differences peacefully. Episode 16. Tangerine and Borgai leave the weakling to fend off the minions so they can get all the credit by killing the boss. But before they get to the puppeteer, they find themselves against another group of weaklings. A single girl with strings all around her body has killed numerous other weaklings. She is still alive and begs for help. The puppeteer is doing her thing, making puppets, defending her home, when Spider Demon Boy shows up to give her some encouragement and mentions telling her father, but she promises she can do it herself and will defend her family without his help. Back to our heroes. Tangerine fights against the girl weakling, who is actually powerful because she is being controlled, and Borgai turns to face two other human body puppets who rise up from the ground. One of them asks to be killed because so many of his bones are broken and they are piercing his internal organs, slowly and painfully killing him. But Tangerine forces Borgai to let him keep suffering. After figuring out they can yeet the weaklings in the trees and get them all tangled up, Tangerine deals with the girl and Borgai strings up the suffering dude and laughs at him slowly dying in the tree. Realizing these puppets aren't useful anymore, and considering how ruthless and cruel the Demon Slayers are, the puppeteer snaps their necks to relieve their suffering and leaves the puppets to rest. With no obstacles in their way, Tangerine and Borgai continue forward to kill the Puppet Master, but there is one obstacle left. This freaking Dark Souls boss. I mean, how else am I supposed to describe this thing? It looks intimidating, but like most Dark Souls bosses, it is easily exploitable and they combo it to death pretty quickly. After this, Borgai yeets Tangerine at the puppeteer, and while in the air, the puppeteer, who is the mother of the family, realizes she has failed at defending her family. She raises her hand, offering surrender in a last-ditch effort to resolve this peacefully. But Tangerine doesn't see peace. Tangerine sees her accepting her death, so in a moment that he feels like being a more kind and compassionate person, Tangerine gently removes her head. As she dies, her mind goes to her family. She regrets not doing better in defending her family against these intruders from the Demon Slayer corpse. At her dying words, she tells Tangerine one of the 12 most powerful demons is on this mountain, hoping her final breath may scare off the attackers. Hearing this, Tangerine is filled with resolve. After killing one powerful demon, his taste for blood has grown stronger, and with that, a desire to kill someone even more powerful. Thanks so much for watching. Dang, I really made Tangerine a psycho in this one. Thanks for the 50 likes on part 6. Check out all the previous parts of the story up to this point. Like this video if you want part 8. I won't start working on it until this hits 100 likes, so make sure you hit the thumbs up. And subscribe and ring the bell for notifications of that video coming out. That's all for me this time. Hope to see you in the next video. Ciao meow!